mangoes back in the beginning. This is the standard text fielded end editing delegate method that text field is going to call when we enter in some text and hit return. So it's just going to get the text, it's going to clear the text field, and same thing pretty much, except now we're creating a new document. So we create a new dictionary from scratch with the properties that we want. The text from the text field, no for the check property since it starts out unchecked. And we're going to initialize that created at field with the current date. There's a gotcha here in that JSON, unlike property lists, can't store dates directly. So you can't just take an NS date and put it in there. You'll be able to put it in the dictionary, but you'll get an error when you try to save it because it can't get converted directly into JSON. We have a utility class called CBL-JSON, which just contains a bunch of class methods, and there's one called JSON object with date, which will take an NSDate object and return you back a string that represents that date in the kind of standard date format that gets used in JSON. And that created at property, of course, it's not shown directly in the UI, it's not used when we toggle, but it's what gets used in that view to generate the sorted by date view. So once we have that dictionary, we call create document, which creates, essentially it's like creating an untitled document in an application, which just gives us a new document. It makes up a random ID for it, which if you look at it, it's a UUID. It's this big long string of random hex, which is pretty much guaranteed not to ever be used by anybody else. And then we tell that document exactly the same as in the previous slide, just put properties, store the new data into it. So the new document that got created, the CVL document, doesn't actually exist in the database yet. Just like when you hit new in TextEdit, it's not actually creating a file until you save it. So this document will get saved into the database when we call the put properties method on it and have the initial properties.